Hi guys, thanks for joining us today for our Wake Up with Wasatch webinar. Today we have Rich McDonald, our clinical director, and Becky Wheelock, our alumni director, to talk about monitoring alumni mental health. And I guess I'll go ahead and let them start. If you have any questions throughout, you can ask a question using our GoToWebinar control panel, and then there's a few handouts in the handout section of this webinar. And those are just collateral pieces detailing our program. But I will let Becky and Rich go ahead and start us off.
Perfect. Thank you, Kayla.
Hi guys, my name is Becky and I'm the alumni coordinator here at Wasatch Crest. I'm just going to start off and tell you a little bit about how we stay connected with our alumni. So once they're getting ready to leave our residential program, I'll sit down with them and go over what we offer as an alumni program, and I'll set them up for our Zoom meetings, which we do weekly. I'll tell them about our phone calls, which for their first 6 weeks out, they'll receive a phone call every once a week for 6 weeks. And then after that, it's a monthly phone call. Also, we have set up an email with all the staff stories and a bunch of different blogs on different topics, and they'll start receiving those the Monday after they leave treatment. We also do a monthly event and then also service projects.
Awesome. Thanks, Becky. And we'll talk a little bit more about some of the activities that Becky does. And that was a good overview. And so one of the things that, there's staying and keeping our alumni connected, I think serves a couple purposes. The first of which is it allows us to see how we're doing. One of the whole purpose, right, is to have positive outcomes, and we know that we can do a really good job with them while they're here and work with them, but after treatment, it's when the rubber hits the road. So being able to provide alumni activities and to have a significant alumni program has been a great way for us to keep in touch with our alumni, monitor, kind of how we're doing anecdotally, and then also just providing a service. Like, our hope really is that our alumni is just another sober support community that fosters connection and gives people those crucial social and emotional interactions that we know you have to be happy in long-term sobriety or long-term recovery. And one of the other factor is we really do want to monitor, be there to support our clients, and also be able to look objectively at our outcomes. We were lucky enough about 12 months ago to begin working with a company called Videra, and Videra Healthcare is a platform that allows us to kind of keep track and monitor outcomes and overall well-being. So we get into essentially just a brief overview. Anybody's interested, you can Google it. You'll be able to learn more specifically about how it all works. But essentially, when our clients come in, we have 2 assessments that they complete. The first one's the BAM, with any of the clinicians will be familiar with. It's the Brief Addiction Monitor. And the second is the CHIP. It's a 5-question assessment that I developed with the psychologist that works with Videra. The CHIP, our whole idea was we wanted to measure resilience, connection, overall sense of well-being, and connection to recovery specifically. So do they have family and social support that's so important, and then also are they engaging in long-term recovery, community, and working a program of recovery. Essentially how it works is once they're loaded in, we take those 2 baseline assessments. So the first BAM, when they leave, they do another BAM, which gives us an idea of, overall wellness, as well as abstinence, or I guess, how much, if they have not stayed abstinent, maybe they used 3 times in the previous 6 months versus daily, or 3 times a day. And we found that it works really, really well, and it gives us crucial feedback. The clients, when they discharge, they meet with Becky, and she has them download the Videra healthcare app on their phone. And essentially, we're able to set up intervals for assessments. So the BAM's a longer assessment, so they might get that. If I remember right, Becky, we're doing that every 30 days for the first 12 months when they leave. And then the CHIP is once a week. It takes like 3 minutes to take. It's once a week for 90 days, and then it goes bi-weekly, and then eventually it goes monthly. The CHIP uses video technology, which is really cool. It gives us kind of, once we have that baseline, it can detect distress, speed of or rate of speech. Is it sped up or slowed down? It's able to actually read affect and give us some really, really helpful data. And I should have brought the data with me, but what was the last time we pulled the data and really combed through it, one of the things that we found was overall happiness and well-being was dramatically improved for 70% of the clients that took it, and then it was slightly improved for about 20%, and then the last 10% it was kind of flat, which could have been, anyway, that's really positive for us, and we're super excited to be able to see that. But it also, if it picks up language that indicates maybe possible suicidal ideation or depression, our clinicians are able to reach out and check in with those clients and get them to the proper resources if necessary. So that is Videra, and definitely, we were the first pilot program to implement it, and it's been a really valuable tool for everybody involved. Okay, so that's Videra. I swear I don't own any of the company. But it's been so great to be able to try and track outcomes, which, as everybody knows, is nearly impossible in substance abuse or chemical dependency to get valid, genuine outcome data. So it's been a much easier way to do it.
Okay, so also, as you may know, we just opened our women's transitional living house. So now we have the men's and women's Uinta house. And so it's kind of nice because they're in our VIOP program, and they're also considered alumni because they've graduated the residential program.
What's VIOP?
Virtual Intensive Outpatient.
Thank you, Becky.
Yes. So, but it's nice because, if clinical notices something going on with one of them in group, or I know something going on with them from speaking to them on the phone or an outing, we can kind of let each other know, or if we need to check in on them, things like that. And then also we do regular service outings. Our Uinta houses, they're required to do a service outing. And so they do theirs every Saturday. They do, it might just be a little service act or a big service act. And the alumni do them once a month. Ours are usually bigger projects. We've done things like taken sack lunches down to the people struggling with homelessness. And then also we're going to be cleaning up our trail. We adopted a trail last summer, the Birdie Shot Trail. Is that the name?
Yes.
Yes.
It's by the golf course, but not on the golf course.
Yes, so we'll be working on that. We're going to be working this summer in a lot of elderly people's yards. And the clients, the alumni love doing it. So we've had a lot of participation. They love seeing each other. And then also we do more social events where we have fun. This Saturday, we're having a pickleball tournament and dinner for the alumni. So that should be a great weekend event.
That's awesome. Those of you that have been, have seen some of the other webinars or attended, have met Adeline Cook, our rec therapist. One of the, I think over the past 7 years that I've been here, watching Adeline develop the alumni summer camping trips and like high adventure activities has been really cool. You know, usually she'll do one camping trip a month, so June, July, August. One of them will be a high adventure kind of, you know, backpacking trip. So we've got to make sure that the alumni that are able to attend that, you know, are fit enough to be able to, you know, go down to Zion or Capitol Reef, sorry, and backpack and carry their gear and all that. The other two we really try to do a little bit closer to where most of our clients are from. So we'll do one usually about 45 minutes from here up at a lake that's got a really good river that we can have a fly fishing guide come up and show the alumni how to fly fish. But that's more of car camping, which is great because if we get the spot for a couple nights, it also enables us to be able to bring our clients that are currently in treatment with us up for a rec therapy outing or spend the day at the camping site and begin to like build that connection with the alumni. And you know, we're really looking forward to, I was thinking about this today, Becky, is being able to have guests back in the house regularly. So normally on Wednesday nights for the past probably 6 years, we've had the chef make more dinner, and we'll invite the alumni up. They can have dinner at Wasatch Crest, and then we do a speaker meeting, and Becky does a really good job of getting alumni that are doing well to share their stories. So
yeah, and we've been able to continue our speaker meeting on Wednesdays, but we've had to do it over Zoom. So it's going to be exciting because I think it's a good thing when our residential clients see the alumni come back and that they're doing well and they can connect with them. Some of them, you know, that have come back have years of experience and they sponsor people, and some of the residential clients will end up having them sponsor them. So it's good for everybody to be able to do it in person.
So, one of the other, you know, difficulties, especially those of you that are working in the profession, is really like, what do we do if somebody is struggling? We have several touch points, as Becky talked about before, that allow alumni to stay engaged. And you know, Becky does a really good job of reaching out to them on a regular intervals. Especially so the intervals will be more obviously when they first discharge. It gives us the ability to really work with clients that are struggling. And so oftentimes, and when it says counseling, we're not talking therapy, we're more talking about, you know, engaging them and being able to direct them where they need to go, right? So maybe somebody has a lapse and we need to dig in a little bit and find out, you know, do they need treatment again, or maybe do they need outpatient, whatever level of care is required. And sometimes that's, you know, they just need to talk to somebody because they're struggling, or they might have had a lapse and they need to re-engage in 12-step or whatever their program of recovery is. And it is, you know, very important. But without that engagement from the alumni and without the alumni community and program that Becky's done an incredible job of building, we wouldn't know, you know, where they were at. It wouldn't have any opportunity to direct them or point them in the right direction and be able to support them through difficult times. I know, you know, it's not a little thing, but relapse situations like losing a loved one. You know, on a couple different occasions, I've had alumni reach out and just need to, you know, share that they're going through, you know, the loss of a loved one, and be able to just, you know, kind of double down on meetings or just whatever it is that we can do to support them is super important. And then, you know, just encouraging them to come. Becky's activities like the pickleball tournament and hikes, and we've got an alumni right now that wants to put together a weekly mountain bike ride with clients, with alumni that have bikes. Anything we can do to support that community is so super important. It's cliche now, but the opposite of addiction is connection, right? I think I absolutely agree.
And I like to think of it more as like peer support, being in
Yes.
recovery myself. So, you know, they can call my work line anytime, day or night. And, you know, just because I recover a certain way doesn't mean that they do. And so I like to guide them in whatever direction, you know, and I know a lot of different ways and different people in the recovery community. So maybe some I don't know as much about, but I'll connect them with someone in the recovery community that knows more about it. So it's just been really good to have all the different avenues for them.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and I touched on this slide, I guess, a couple minutes ago, but honestly, the relapse rates, we know that relapse happens. I cringe every time I hear relapse is a part of recovery. Well, it really is, unfortunately. But it's not something that everybody has to go through either. So I think that's really important, but we do want to be available if something happens, and be able to offer our support and help them. You know, I think historically, a lot of times clients use for one day or 24 hours and instantly they're like, oh, I got to go back to treatment. Well, maybe not, right? It's super important that we be realistic about it and that we point them in the right direction. Sometimes disconnecting again from their life for another 30 days is going to do more or another 30, 60, 90 days will do more damage than being able to get them back pointed in the right direction and helping support them through community resources. So it's really important. Becky, do you have any questions? No, I'm kidding. Okay.
No, I just want to wrap mine up by saying too, it goes back to like the lapse, relapse, collapse, like just, you know, because someone's, you know, gone out and used, we're not going to be like, oh, let's bring them back in, you know, for our senses. You know, I love that about our clinical team. You know, we do what's best for them. And sometimes what's best for them is not coming back to this facility. So.
Absolutely. We're super careful and make sure that everybody gets exactly what they need. So, Kayla, do we have any questions?
No questions. So go ahead and scroll over to the next page. Our next webinar is on May 28th on using the level system for addiction treatment, and our clinical team will present that webinar. It's going to be at 9 a.m. And then there is our website, wasatchcresttreatment.com, and then our 24-hour admissions phone number. Thanks for joining us today. Thank you, Rich and Becky.
You got it. Thank you. Thanks everyone for your time. We appreciate that you take a few minutes to join us. So thank you.
Okay.